Hi all, this is Tony the Flightless Stitcher. Wow, it's been a minute. I'd say welcome back to all my viewers, but I would think that most of you have dropped off in the last year. It has been, I'm going to say 10 months since my last FlossTube. It has been, oh shoot, sorry. It's been a very interesting year. Yeah, so welcome back if you are still sticking around. Welcome if you're new. This is my FlossTube channel, talking primarily about life and cross stitch. There'll be a lot more life than normal today because it has been so long, and I feel I probably owe you all an explanation. Yeah, it's been a very, very, very interesting year. You get me today as is, slightly concussed. I'll explain that in a minute. No makeup, tired. Yeah. So yeah, last time I filmed, I think I was, I haven't gone back and watched, so forgive me if I repeat myself over anything. I'm basically going to treat this one like it's FlossTube number one, just because it's been so long since I did one. Yeah, so last time I did this, I think I'd just handed in my notice, or was about to hand in my notice at my job that I'd been at for 20 odd years, and was going to slide into some sort of semi-retirement. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but I had picked up a job working in a gym. It was only going to be about 20 hours a week, just something to do until I figured out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where I was when I left you all, thinking that I would have heaps of time to do lots of things and all the stitching in the world and yeah, all that. Well, best laid plans. On the last weekend, on the Friday at 5 past 5 on Friday of a long weekend in New Zealand at the end of January, Auckland anniversary weekend, I received an email along with my friend and personal trainer offering us the chance to purchase the F45 studio that she worked at. So we did it. If I can give anybody a piece of advice out there, it's don't ever buy a business in a month, especially when it's the shortest month in a year. We took over on 1st of March, so we literally had 30 days from acceptance through to getting it over the line. So we hit the ground running on the back foot. We didn't have everything across the line. It's been a ride. Yeah, so I am, along with my business partner, an owner of a F45 studio in Mirabilia, New Zealand. If you don't know, Mirabilia is also known as Hobbiton around the world. We have the Shire here. It was all filmed. All the Shire stuff was filmed here. We had hobbits living and playing in Mirabilia for a few years, yeah, due to the fact that there were so many movies, because they came back for The Hobbit as well as not just the Lord of the Rings. They used the same sets for The Hobbit, and you can go and tour there. Highly recommend. It's really, really expensive to do, but I highly recommend doing it. I've done it so many times I don't know if I could be bothered doing it again. But they've got the Green Dragon out there now. There's a conference centre. There's the gardens are amazing. They've got, last I heard, they had about 20 full-time gardeners, and you walk amongst the hills and there's all the sunflowers and all the flowers. It's just amazing. It is well worth going and visiting it if you are in New Zealand. Yeah, so yeah, that was where I was at with that. What else did happen? Yeah, so that has actually kept me incredibly busy. The business we purchased had not been worked on. The people had purchased it and not done anything with it for 2.5 years. They'd just taken money from it and not put anything back in. So we bought a business without a business plan. They had no strategies going forward, nothing. In fact, we had dramas getting everything across the line. That they were not very helpful. They were not helpful at all getting across the line. I didn't even get it took me another month after we purchased to even get the email addresses for us. They cut all our phones off 2-3 days before we were to take over. We had no access to the apps or anything. It was a drama. It was an absolute drama, but we got there. And yeah, we've gone from strength to strength since, but it has been incredibly busy building up those numbers again and making this all work. So yeah, also during that time frame, last time I saw you, I had 2 cats, Simon and Wednesday. In March, just after we took over, we discovered a little ginger kitten inside our house, a scrawny little thing that was definitively starving to death. I tried to catch him a little bit, but he kept running and hiding. He was a very scared little guy. So yeah, I ended up, because a week later, he would have only been about 6 weeks old, maybe, if he was lucky. He wasn't doing very well at all. And we realised he was actually living underneath the house, but because the doors were open, he'd wandered inside, and he'd figured out how to use the cat flaps, because we had Wednesday, and Wednesday's never figured out how to use a cat flap. So we had wine bottles holding the cat flaps open. So he would leap in through the cat flaps and was hiding under one of the spare beds and sleeping at night inside. It took us probably 2 months. I'm going to say 2 months to get him to the point where I could actually pet him and do things with him. He would have been about 4 months old before we could really do too much with him. But now he's a part of our household. He's a little ginger guy. His name's Norman. Normie Stormy Noodlebutt, if anybody wants his full name. My granddaughter now gets in trouble when she goes to kindy because she calls everybody Noodlebutt. But he's the cutest. Oh, he's a 1%er. That's the best way to describe him. He's a 1%er. My oldest daughter is a vet nurse, and they all say that you get 2 types of ginger cats. You get the type that sleep all day and become incredibly fat, and then you get the 1%ers. The 1%ers have 1% of brain cell. Unfortunately, they share it amongst all the other 1%ers, and usually it's not their turn. I have had so many adventures with that cat. I've had to pull him out of rubbish bins. He's fallen off of everything in the house. At the moment, I'm fighting with him about the Christmas tree. It's the 5th of December today, and all the Christmas decorations are slowly going up the tree as he pulls them off, and I put them up a bit higher, and we're going to end up with just the top half of the tree decorated, I think. Yeah, so like I said, I've had to pull him out of rubbish bins. He's been known to stick his head underneath the bath mat and scoot all around the bathroom. We've learnt to burrito in bed because he attacks our feet in the middle of the night and thinks it's funny. He's a pain in the ass, but he's the cutest little fella. If you hear me scream and start going, ow, 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 it means he's just come into the office and he's under my desk and attacking my legs. Again, a fairly common occurrence. He is really cute, and we wouldn't be without him, though. Also about that sort of time frame, and it was just a coincidence. Norm wasn't even inside the house at this point. Wednesday went missing. We had flyers up. Everybody in town was looking for her. I got tagged on so many Facebook posts of people finding little black cats. None of them were ever Wednesday. We went for walks. We had friends that even walked friends of my daughter's walked the railway line just to double check that she wasn't there. There was no sign of her. She just literally had dinner and vanished. In New Zealand, cats tend to be mostly free range. You don't really get too many cats that are inside cats only. Just because of the nature of the country. There's not that many. The only predators really out there are cars and dogs, realistically. That's pretty much all nefarious people. But yeah, so we didn't know what had happened to her, and after a month or so, we pretty much thought she was gone. We never stopped giving up hope, but we thought she was gone. I'm going to say 4 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, my husband started screaming from the living area and yelling at me to come down here real fast. I thought something had happened to him. I honestly thought something had fallen off of him or what. I didn't know what had happened, so I went racing down there, and here she is, standing at the doorway with our other cat, waiting to come inside for breakfast. She's nearly 8 months. She finally found her way home. From what we can figure out, I took her in for a warrant of fitness at the vets, and from what we can figure out, I think that she's gotten a fright and gotten injured, and because there's some tendon damage to one of her legs, not enough that you would. I noticed it when she was running down the hallway. She tends to drift. She's now a drift cat. So I wondered if there was something there, and when they had a look, they said there's some definite looseness in her tendon, like there's been an injury there, but there's no actual real sign of anything else. So we think she's gotten chased, possibly hurt herself a little bit and gotten lost in that time, and it's taken her this long to find her way home. But she's home, she's settling back in. She does not want to be an outside cat anymore. I have a dirt box in the laundry for her, because she'll look outside, but she'll go outside and she'll sit there if she can see us. She'll sit within vicinity of the house. You never lose sight of her, but she will not wander anymore. She does not go any further. Around the same time as she went missing, we actually had a few cats go missing in the neighbourhood, all at night time. So since then, the boys have actually learnt to become inside cats at night from around 8:30, 9 o'clock every single, well, at this time of the year. We're going into summer here, southern hemisphere, so it doesn't get dark until about 9 o'clock now. So yeah, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I shut the house up, and everybody's inside for the remainder of the night. During winter, it's dinner time, so it's around 6:30 at that time. But yeah, now they're inside cats at night. So yeah, that was amazing, to be honest with you. I still can't believe she's home. She's not quite the same cat she was. She's only just started playing again, but she's our Wednesday. It's definitely our Wednesday. So yeah, we're back to being a family of 3 cats and me and my husband. We've had, my middle daughter has moved up from Stratford. They ended up staying with us for a few weeks. It was cool, because with them being in Stratford down that way, they were 4 hours away from us, so we've only ever seen our granddaughter a couple of times a year. So they now live 30 minutes away from us, so we get to see her all the time. She's coming to stay with Grandma and Pop Pop this weekend for her first ever sleepover with us on her own without her parents. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, what else? I've had knee surgery. So that put me out of action for quite a while. We've done major renovations throughout the house. Major renovations, by that I mean we've got a new bathroom. We've replaced the front end of the house where there was a big bay window, which you'll have seen in previous videos. That is now a big stacking window, so that whole corner folds back now. The deck's actually in the process of being put in, but it's taken to raining, so that's going to take a few more days before the concrete can get laid. Hopefully done before Christmas. So yeah, it's been one thing after another. Yeah, my 6 week, it was supposed to be 10 days for the bathroom, and that turned into 2.5 months. So yeah, it's been a year. It's been a real year. But enough about all that sort of stuff. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. You are now in my office. I am set up here permanently because I own a studio. As soon as I turn the music on, you can't hear a dang thing. So I tend to work majority, because I do the majority of the admin stuff. I tend to work from home. So yeah, we are now in my office. So we'll see how this goes. I am filming on my phone today. I need a chance to sit down and sort out what I'm doing with the space and how I might do some filming down here going forward in the future. But I figured I was I had some time to myself. I've been procrastinating on doing this for months, so I thought, let's just do it. So yeah, you get me without makeup, you get my office, you get no real setup. It hasn't been a massive stitchy year for me. Well, it has, but it hasn't. The things that I've been stitching on, I've stitched on a lot, but I haven't stitched on lots of things. I'm in the process of actually changing all my information into notions. So yeah, I purchased the notions, the cross-stitch notions thing, and it's amazing. It is so much easier to track everything on. It has scared me a little bit. I am currently loading all my projects and things into it, a few at a time, and I am at, I think I just saw this morning, I am at 131 to be kitted up projects that I own. So I might be halfway through, might being the operative word. So I'm going to put myself back on my self-imposed ban. I was on a ban at the beginning of the year where I wasn't buying any patterns and stuff, and then that went out the window when all the amazing patterns came out in the middle of the year, and I couldn't do it anymore, so I purchased a heap and I didn't stop. But after seeing all that, and there is again, because I'm putting hands on things and looking at them, there are actually some amazing patterns that I've got that I really, really, really just need to stitch. Should have done it ages ago. Oh yeah, sorry, I should tell you about the concussion. I went whitewater rafting on Friday. It was our team's end of year function. We do because Christmas is in December in the southern hemisphere. I think Australia is pretty much the same as we are. You tend to the country pretty much shuts down. The kids finish school anything from the beginning of December, depending on what school they're at and what level of school they're at. Pretty much from the beginning of December through to next week, middle of next week, a lot of the schools are finishing, and the kids have their Christmas break, well, their summer break from then until the end of January, and then from there the entire country shuts down for 2 weeks over the Christmas New Year period. The only thing you will find open realistically apart is shops in your touristy areas, and which basically means beach, and all your food places, regardless of where you are, because people travel everywhere. Most people have Christmas Day. Usually Boxing Day is at the next person's house, and then off they go on their holiday. So yeah, if you are in any of the areas like the Mount or Whitianga or whatever in New Zealand, their populations explode from something like 10,000 normally to well over 100, 200,000 depending on where you are. And it just, yeah, everybody goes to the beach basically. The town I live in, Mirabilia, you could just about fire a gun down the main street and you wouldn't hit anybody, and we have 10,000 people in this town. But yeah, it is so. Yeah, we have the stats and nobody really does anything. The engineering company's shut down. My husband's an engineer. We shut his company down for the 2-3 weeks. There are very few industries that remain running during that period of time. So yeah, it just gets a little bit busy. But yeah, so I procrastinate. No, I don't. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, bit of a brain burp there. See if I can edit that out. Probably won't, but might. Anyway, yeah, because of that, because it's the end of year functions, we all have a big Christmas party. Nearly every business does it. And this year, our team has not had very interesting Christmas breakup parties in the last 2-3 years with the previous owners. So we decided to give them a fairly decent one this year. So we took them all whitewater rafting. Now, we split into 2 teams and off we went. And we were all having a ball. It was a great time. Unfortunately, we were in the heavy boat, and now you've got to remember, I own a fitness studio. I own a gym. So that means that the boys in our team are quite muscular, would be the best way to put it. They're bulky. They're bulky boys. They're not fat boys. They're bulky boys, though. They're very muscular. So we had 2 at the front of the boat that we were on. I was at the back, and I'm not a small girl. So I'm sitting at the back, and we went down a 7-meter waterfall. And the boy at the front right let go. And because he let go, we went that way. And I was back left. So I got the most air time, but I also took somebody's foot to my head. I woke up lying flat on my back in the water, and I am now concussed. I've got bruising everywhere. I wasn't in any real danger. They had, because it's a 7-meter waterfall, because it is a tourist attraction, it is actually quite safe. It was just unfortunate that I took a foot to the head. yeah, everybody else popped up and they were absolutely fine. It's unusual for you to tilt, but we were quite a heavy raft because of the bulky boys. Yeah, and they have 3 guys on kayaks down there with all the safety gear and stuff, and you get hauled out pretty fast. I woke up and was just like, this can't be good. And just while I'm thinking, what am I going to do? This can't be good. Somebody reached down, grabbed me by the life jacket and hauled me up. So there wasn't any real danger. There was no real risk, but it's left me with a little bit of a concussion. Just unfortunate. Just wrong place, wrong time. Which invariably it's always me that's in the wrong place at the wrong time. But there you go. Life happens. But now I have a war story. So yeah, I've got a huge amount of bruising, having a little bit of trouble with my hands from where I was holding on to the holdy-onny bits on the boat when it went and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a little concussion. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, so I've now been talking for 20 minutes. Most of you are probably already gone. I'm out and left. But let's get on with the stitching. There is nothing in here that has been ironed. I've taken most of the things out of the hoops, but not everything. It is what it is. Just roll with me. So yeah, the first one up. This old one. This is Warm My Heart, which is my Haid, by Selena Finich is the artist. Words are hard. And I've nearly finished this, y'all. I started it in October 2015. For the last 2 years, I have made it my 25/7. Now, don't freak out when you see this. I am well aware that I am playing Russian roulette with the end of it. With the bottom, that it's gotten a bit close to the edge. It is, I've had to cut off a couple of lines at the bottom, but I am at 97.5% finished. I have around 4,000 stitches left to go on this. So we're nearly there. I don't know if I'm going to get it finished before Christmas. I really don't, because 4,000 stitches is a lot. I've got a members ball this weekend coming. We've got our granddaughter coming to stay as well. So I'm trying my hardest to get it finished. If it's not finished before Christmas, it won't be too much after. But this is where we are at. Okay, let's see if we can get this in. There we go. Oh, it's getting a bit light in behind, but you can get the gist of it. So yeah, we're nearly finished. Thank heavens. So yeah, she's my 25/7. How I work a 25/7, everybody does it differently, and this is what works for me. Is, I don't know if you can see, but how are we going to do this? Let's do it here. Okay, I run in 10 blocks across, and then I run down. But so I don't get those lines that you sometimes get, I always take the line to the end of that colour. So I will, if there's 25 in that row, I will stitch the 25. I won't stop at the 10, and I'll go across. And my only rule is, the only other rule I have for my 25/7 is I stitch for 25 minutes a day. I set the timer, but at the end of that 25 minutes, I must finish the colour I'm working on in that 10 by 10 column. Okay? Well, that 10 column. So I will stitch all the way down, but that one colour. I'll finish that one colour before I put it away. So some days I might have 60 stitches in that 25 minutes. Some days it might be 48, and another day it might be 425, and it might be actually 4 hours that I was there. But that's how I've gotten through this, because when I turned this into a 25/7 at, I think it was about midway last year, she was only at about 52% finished, and so it's actually been well worth me doing it because she's finally going over the line. I'm going to be so pleased to pop her in the post and send her to my sister. Yeah, there's been a lot of grey. That's a lot of grey. But yeah, so she is finally nearly finished. So that's my first one. I'm just going to pop that down there and hope that Norm doesn't think it's a toy. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, okay, so my second one up. These are in no particular order either. I'm just pulling them out as to whether or not things have been worked on. I'm doing my first chatelaine, and I'm doing, what is it called? What is it called? I'm sorry, right behind you is my Notions app, so I can actually look things up. It's Halloween spider lace. That's what it's called. Halloween spider lace. So pop the picture up. You know the drill. So the picture will be popped up. But this is where I got with it. I was doing Chatterlane Wednesdays, but I got behind on everything and I need to catch up. So this is where we're at anyway. I have been doing the beading as I go on this one. She's not a big girl, this one. It's a very small Chatterlane. So I have been doing the beading as I go because it shouldn't be too much of a drama. I've got 2 or 3 Chatterlanes that I want to do. Oh, I hand dyed this myself too. And I think I'm doing it on, I'm doing it on 32 count, this one. But I don't know if you can see the beads that are on there. A little bit of beading. Yeah, she's lovely. She really is. Doesn't do it justice seeing it like this, but on the camera, as per usual. But yeah, I'm really enjoying doing it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to that. I do want to make Chatterlane Wednesdays again a thing. That was, I think, 4 weeks worth of Wednesdays, and then life got a little bit ahead of me, and I'm trying to keep up on some other things, so that one got put to a side. So that's that one. Just because I'm behind on everything, Lola Crow decided to put out some ornaments, and I decided that because I don't have anything else to do in my life at all, ever, that I would do them because I've got all the time in the world. So I have managed to actually, this is the called for fabric, Elephant by Fox and Rabbit, and I have gotten the first 2 completed. So that's your, I think, Creepy Carolers, and then we had the Haunted House bit, and can't remember what this one is. Creepy something else. Oh gosh, where am I? Let's go over here. 2 screens. So just bear with. Mystery Cells. What do we got? Creepy Christmas Village. So, oh yeah, so that was Haunted Holiday Home, Creepy Carolers, and now I'm working on Creepy Christmas Tree. So I have started that and hoping to get that finished. I am hoping to do a Christmas tree next year. I bought a new Christmas tree at the end of last year because our old one had been around for quite a long time, and we bought a new house with a high stud and it was too short and it looked silly. So I now got an 8-foot tree down the front. But I've kept the 6-foot because I'm thinking I might put it in the dining area and turn it into the craft one and put all the crafty things on it. I've still got kids stuff from back when the kids made me decorations when they were at school, you know, the stuff. But I'm also got a few cross-stitch things that I'm doing, so I thought I might turn that one into the crafty one. And so I've got those ones, but I've also got, because I'm a patron for the Witchy Stitcher, I've also got her ones that have been coming through recently. So I wouldn't mind getting some of those done next year and do a tree, but we'll see what happens. Okay, right, next up, again, because I had nothing else to do, and I just, you know what it's like, ladies and gentlemen and people, just humans in general, we get bored with what we're doing, especially when you do what I've done this year and concentrate on just a handful of subjects, which is how I wound up doing the Lola Crow thing. So yeah, I picked up this one after Michelle Bendy Stitchy had been talking about the fact that she was doing the Satsuma Street ones and that she was looking for Nevermore, and I have it. And it made me go, I have it. So I hauled it out and thought, why not? It's only been sitting there for 2 years. So I've been doing this. I've had it down in the back bedroom, my office. So when I need a bit of a timeout, I will sit down and just flick on, because there's a TV down here. It's also the sports lounge when it's not being an office. So I'll flick some FlossTube on and just stitch away for half an hour to an hour, just give myself a bit of a break, because I tend to get up in the morning. My husband goes to work at 6:30 and I go straight to work. So yeah, I tend to just stitch on this. So I've finished all the stitching and am just starting the beading now. So that's how far I've gotten. I am going to have to get a board for down here, so I do apologize for that. So yeah, that's how far. That's all the stitching is done. So I have just started the beading. I have a grand total of 2 beads in right down here. So that is nearly finished, and then I'll just make it into a decoration, because the tree I'm going to use for a craft tree is also going to be the Halloween tree, so it will just travel from one event to another. So yeah, so that's where I've gotten to with that one. Okay, right, Supernatural Soul from the Witchy Stitcher. I'm stitching it on, picture this, plus Monster Mesh. I love this fabric. I think this is my new favorite fabric. I finally got the frame done this year. I don't know if you can see that. Yes. Yep. So I'm stitching it on 40 count, changing pretty much all the colors except the black. I've used this one here, came out of an Edgar Allan Poe, what was it called? Came out of, flipping heck, drawing a blank. It was one of the, not Stitchy Box, Starlight Stitchery. They did an Edgar Allan Poe, gosh, I'm saying too many times. I'm definitely out of practice doing this. So they did an Edgar Allan Poe box a couple of years ago, which I purchased, and that was one of the specialty threads that arrived with it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It is down here. Because this is all the crap that I have in my drawer to go with the Witchy Stitcher. I have flosses and everything. Okay, so the one that oh, here we go. I should have thought of this before instead of just humming and hawing. Like I said, very much out of practice. So this was the one that it's called Descent into the Maelstrom. So that was that thread. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of a denim blue. It is actually showing up quite well, I think. So yeah, I've used that. And then we've got my little bats, which are there and there. So my little bats, I've had this silky nylon-y roundy thread hanging around, so I've been doing those in one thread, the little blue bats. And then I've got Krynic 060, which is the sparkly one that I've been using on my little bats. And then down the bottom for my little people, these little guys down here, I used Colour and Cotton. Now I got this out of a Black Needle Society box, the Gilmore Girls. It's called Mum Touched the Pope. It was a one off. It doesn't. This one's not showing up. This one's showing up way more orange than it actually is. This is actually a deep red. I found, because I knew I'm going to run out of it because I'm going to use it on a couple of things in there, but I found that Classic Colourworks actually, that was a limited edition by Colour and Cotton. But I found that Classic Colourworks do Cupid, and it's a really close match. Again, it's showing up more of an orange, but it's actually a really beautiful deep red, and I think it's my favourite red at the moment. So yeah, that's what I've done those on. So we've got a few things in here with the Supernatural, even though that seems to be the cryptids. Printed it out. It says Supernatural, but those are cryptids. But I'm going to change all the colours on. I've got fuzzy floss, and it's just a matter of sitting down and doing the things. Fuzzy floss. Got to love yourself some fuzzy floss, because I think there's a werewolf in there, so he's going to be fuzzy, and yeah, all that sort of thing. So that's that one. Now, I've also been doing, I was doing Mirror Mondays for a little while. Again, I got massively behind. After my surgery, I completely fell off the wagon. Things just got so busy. We've just been rolling from one thing to another. It really has been ridiculous. And then I got completely swamped with what I've been doing here, and realized how much I actually had to go over, and it became a little bit daunting, and yeah, then the procrastination set in. Anyway, so I've been doing Mirror Monday. So I started with Royal Games 2, which is this one here, and so far I've gotten most of the red one done. well, most of the, yeah, actually I've just got her head to go, and then I'll flip it, then I'll pull down and we'll do the blue one, Blue Lady. The reason I'm doing this, I actually have both the Royal Games. I started on number 2 first because my favourite out of the 2 is in Royal Games 1. And just pop that down there. I'm going to, my husband and I are actually going to turn them into a headboard on our bed. We're going to get an old door and put them in the panels on the door, and yeah, so it's going to be a thing. It's actually going to be pretty cool. I'm quite looking forward to getting that done, to be honest with you. It's actually going to be quite cool. But yeah, I need to get back to that one again. So then we go to, because at the beginning of the year, I knew I was going to finish at work. I didn't know things were going to be quite the adventure that they've turned into, but I knew I was going to finish at work, and I knew this year was going to be a bit of an adventure. So I thought this would actually be a really good year to do a temperature sale. So I picked the rainiest year ever. We've had more rain. We had more rain by June than we've had in the last 3 years combined, and it still hasn't stopped raining. Yeah, it's raining today. It was raining yesterday, and it was raining the day before. So I have picked this one up from Sprouting Lupine. I've got all the little birdies in. Yeah, I'm using me as the backdrop. I'm going to figure this out next time, guys. I'm really sorry. So I've got all the little birdies in, and all the little birdies have got their little temperatures going on. And what I've been doing is, for every rainy day, I stitched a raindrop. And as you can see, it's rained and rained and rained and rained. The other thing I've been doing is every month I do little doodads, and I've been freehanding little doodads. So here we have, like, that was January, and it rained and we had flooding, and I left Centigrade, which was the company that I used to work for. And oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, we had an earthquake. So that's the earthquake symbol. We don't get earthquakes here, and we had 2 of them, and they woke us up. It was a bit scary. Yeah, what else? My husband went on a massive bike ride, so I free-handed a teeny tiny motorbike. That was us purchasing the business. I put a little scales in there for the amount of time I spent at the lawyers, which was a lot of time at the lawyers. What else is on here that might be of interest? We sold a house. So it's got a little word sold tacked across it. Yeah. Oh, this was April. That's when Norm came in. He's a ginger. And that's Wednesday leaving. So I'm going to have to pop her coming back on November. What else did we have? There's lots and lots of things on here. I'm just trying to not keep you too bored. We went to Kinky Boots in June, I think. June? Yeah, June. So I made a little boot. And this one I'm actually kind of proud of. So this was last month. I haven't done November yet, but it's only, I don't do the months until we get there. It's only the 5th of December. So this is October here. In October, we kept the gym open for 24 hours straight. I was down there, my business partner was down there, and we had 2 staff members and 2 actual members. The 2 actual members are just, they weren't planning on staying. The 2 staff members decided they were going to stay with us. Nobody had to. But we kept the whole gym open. We ran classes, we sold the classes, and we sold erg time. Ergs are your skiing machines, your bike machines, and your row machines. So we sold those, and we thought we'd only have 6 of them going. We ended up with 9 of them going the whole time. And we approached a whole pile of businesses, and we had auctions going on Facebook and what have you. And we were raising money for a local company. It's not even a company. For a local. It's not a charity, but it's not a business either. It's a counselling centre, but they deal with underprivileged youth, and They deal with domestic violence. They deal with all the hard stuff. And it's set up by a private person, but it's not a charity as such. They're all qualified psychologists and counsellors and all that sort of thing. And we were raising money for them because there is no funding in New Zealand for mental health, much like a few other places in the world. And New Zealand actually has one of the highest youth suicide rates in the world. So we did this and kept open for that 24-hour period. We kept an eye on the miles, kilometres that we did, and there was nearly 3 million miles rode, skied or biked in that 24-hour period. We had, honestly, we thought we were going to have the staff just running the ergs during the night, and we still had queues at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was unbelievable how amazing this town was. And at this moment in time, we have raised $200 shy of $37,000 for this cause, and it's all been earmarked for emergency mental health care. So I'm super, super, super proud of what we managed to achieve with that. So that's what that was about, with the dollar signs and the 24 hours. So yeah, should have popped it down on the ground, but I talk with my hands. So yeah, that was October, and I'm still tired from that. Anyway, okay, now I'm really, really behind on this one. This is my rainy day project. It is Final Heat by, it's a Haid. And the artist is actually a guy named Bob Byerly, and I think he's amazing. And I'm doing this one for my dad. He doesn't watch, so it doesn't really matter. But again, I started this one, I think, 2018, and it's supposed to be my rainy day project. I haven't stitched on it. The last, I was up to date in April, and then I've completely fallen off the wagon and haven't picked up since. So I've got a lot of rainy days to do on this one. I fully intend to actually catch up on this. But that's where I'm at with this, trying to use me as the board again. But yeah, it's absolutely adorable. It's being stitched on a 28 count even weave. I do all of my Haids on a 28 count even weave, to be honest. Probably going to go down to a 32 going forward for the ones that I haven't got kitted up. But yeah, I found that I actually am liking the higher counts this year. Who knew? I've been stitching a lot on 40s. And speaking of 40s, this has been my focus, and now was my focus, and now I am 2 months behind, and it's now December, so I have that final month to go. But so I've got October, November and December to stitch on this, but I've been doing the Jacob sale for this year, and I have been swinging between the two different ones. Okay, hopefully you can see all that, but I've stitched it on, it's on a 40 count antique white, that should have been one word almost, not a whole separate sentence. So 40 count antique white. I'm using Threadworks. The black is actually a variegated black, which you probably won't be able to see. No, you can't really see. You can see it in the light, but this is not good light. And it's filming FlossTube. So it's called Rocky Mountain, and the yellowy green is Banana Susanna. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. So I've been swinging it between the two. So these are the two cover pages that you get with it. That's the standard, and as you can see, let's see if I can do this. Right. That had little deers. I went with Swan, which was over here. But I kept the bit that came out the side, which you can't really see. So I had to change it a little bit because the swan's nose ran into it. What else did I change? Okay. It's probably the easiest thing to do. So that was the called for middle bit. That was the optional middle bit. I went with the optional middle bit there. What have we got down here? Oh yeah. We have the doggos there. whereas that one was trees. So I kept the original doggos, and I've changed it. It's going to be easier to do this. I know, I'm a working mess. So that was the original for the centre. I went with that one. There was actually 4 options for that, but I like that one the better, so I went with that. So yeah, I've just basically taken the bits that I like and swapped them around as I've seen fit. And a couple of times I've actually had to, I've been doing both at the same time in the same sort of section. But you make stuff work. So that's my Jacob. So that was Reaching Skyward. Now, the only other project I've worked... it doesn't matter. I've got a travelling project as well, but I forgot to bring it up. So, and I'm not going to go looking for it. That can wait for next time. It should be finished next time, actually, hopefully. My daughter and I have a project that we've been doing together. So whenever she comes over, we pull it out. Well, whenever she comes over and we just are sitting and nattering, which doesn't happen very often, we sit and stitch together. Now, Kayla's not a stitcher. She has only just started cross-stitching. So she's a little slow going, but she's trying and she's really enjoying it. She's actually got a project she's got at home. But at this moment in time, we're just working on Peking Jesus. So that's mine. I'm stitching it on something. Peking Jesus. What am I stitching it on? Oh gosh, come here. Peking Jesus is being stitched on. Bear with. Just bear with. Oh gosh. Peking Jesus. You're going to have to move sideways. Glacier by Forbidden Fibre Co. I think I got this out of a BNS Black Needle Society bag. Now Kayla's doing it on 14 count Ada in ballet slippers by Fox and Rabbit. Super proud of her. She's actually doing a lovely job for Kayla. She's trying really hard and she's loving it. Slow going for her, but that's not a surprise. But yeah, she's picked up a couple of projects and she's doing those at home. So we're at 46 minutes now. Going forward, I hope to make this far more regular and actually get back into practice. My hair looks terrible today. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to show a massive amount of haul, mostly because I hope that there won't be massive amounts of haul because I'm supposed to stick to my plan. But I did have a couple of things rock up today, so I thought I'd show you. The first one is, sorry, I thought there was somebody at the door. If you hear any buzzers go off, that's my gate alarm, but the cat set it off, the neighbours set it off, it gets set off. I do actually have a security camera down here so I can see what's going on, and there is nobody out there. So even though the alarm just went off, there is nobody out there. Where the Christmas tree is, the lights actually shine down here a little bit, so yeah, it's every second time they flash I think somebody's walked in the house, which is driving me a bit batshit, but never mind, that's life. Okay, so what arrived today? Leela's Studio, the Raven. I've kitted it up this morning. I had some of the called for floss sitting around and the rest I had purchased, so they're all in the back there. I am going with the called for the most part, but we'll see how we go. So hopefully that might be a project next year. Plum Street Sampler, the Bony Bunch. So that's kind of cute. I actually really like that one. I don't know why I'm so attracted to that one. But yeah, I really like that. Again, I kitted it up this morning with what I had lying around. So yeah, that should hopefully be a thing. Now this one I ordered and I really can't wait to start this. I saw these on a FlossTube. I can't remember whose FlossTube. But I think I need to collect all the Plum Street Sampler Here's Hollow. This is the Here's Halloween. I also have Here's... come on, open up. Nope, it's not doing its thing today. Come on, be good. The other one that I have. Well, wait more. is Here's Happy Haunting, which I don't have right here, obviously. But yeah, that's Here's Halloween, and I've got all the MPI silks for that one, which I don't usually do the silk thing because they're stupid expensive. But I don't know why these bunnies are just so freaking cute. Honestly, those are the cutest little bunnies in the world. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We're at 49 minutes. Most of that was love story that I'm sure I've bored you all stupid with. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll continue with my notions. Next time, I hope to do this actually a lot more regularly so that I don't get so overwhelmed with what's going on. Just pick things up and show you where I'm at, rather than feeling like there is too much for me to actually do and to show without going on for 3 hours, which I don't really want to do. So yeah, all look after yourselves. Have a fantastic Christmas. If you don't see me before, hopefully you will. I'd kind of like to do these every fortnight, but we'll see how we go from here. So look after each other, look after yourselves, take care and enjoy your Christmas, and we'll talk soon. See ya.